Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a video that's kind of a follow-up to the Crossrails video. I'll post a link to that up in the top right hand corner of the video. So today we're going to be talking about adding a cargo box to your Cadillac XT5. So the cargo box that I've chosen for my XT5 is the Thule Force XT series box. This is actually the same series that Cadillac sells on their accessories website. So this is going to be the recommended box from GM, from Cadillac. Now for my XT5, I chose the smallest size of the Force XT series, the Sport. The Sport is not actually one of the ones that's on the official Cadillac site. They have the large and the extra large listed on the accessories site. I went and looked at these three sizes, the Sport, Large, and XL. These are available, or at least in my area, at my local Sportsman warehouse. And you know, for our needs, I felt that the Sport was plenty of room. The other thing is that the Sport was the only one I felt like I could manhandle onto the top of the vehicle by myself. We'll find out. So the Sport and the Large are actually exactly the same length. The difference is the Sport is narrower than the Large. So if you wanted to put a bike or something else up there, you could. And then the XL is a lot longer. It's just plain huge. So the Sport is 31 pounds. I'm sorry, 32 pounds. So it's actually not too bad. The Large, I believe it was 41 pounds. So neither of them are very heavy. They're just awkward. So in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the process for putting it up there, which really isn't a big deal, and you know, just seeing how it fits on the XT5, and we'll take it for a test drive as well. All right, so let's see what it's like lifting this thing up here. I have a feeling this would be really much easier as a two-person job, but I think that the sport size version would be doable single-handedly if you're careful. So I had done my homework, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to back in and out of the garage with this on top of the XT5, but I was planning on shooting the video in here. What I didn't account for is the fact that I'm not going to even be able to open it inside of our garage. So I'll have to pull this back off, and we'll change the plans and we'll shoot this video outside. All right, here we are outside with a little more room to work, and now I'm getting quite good at putting it up and taking it down. All right, so let's talk quickly about what comes in the box. So we've of course got an instruction manual, which is pretty basic stuff. It's one of those mostly pictures and no words type of things. I would say the most important thing that the manual will cover overall, although I would encourage you to read it obviously with something like this, is that the maximum weight rating for this box is 165 pounds. Interestingly enough, that is the same weight rating across all four sizes of the box. So you don't really gain weight rating going to the larger boxes, you just gain cubic feet. And of course, as we discussed in the other video, the maximum weight of the roof system on the XT5 is 210 or 220 pounds. So if we add the 32 pounds to this, even if we max this box out, we'll still be within that limit. And I'm sure that's by design. Also important, no dogs in the roof box. Of course, there were a couple of keys included in this massive bag of hardware and straps. All right, so one of the nice things about this series of boxes is that you can open it from either side. So that's a great feature. And of course, again, the idea with the Sport is having the narrower width so that you could slide this all the way to one side of the car or the other. And that allows you to put something else on your rack, like a bike or something like that. You know, it also might be easier to access what's inside of it if you had it closer to one side or the other. My OCD will not allow for that, so it's going to go right in the middle. And so I've found it's a little bit easier to open if you grab it from both sides rather than the middle. It likes to kind of hang, or at least when it's empty. And there you go. So the great thing is that we do have these little struts on either side that kind of keep the lid up, and we've got a handle on either side for height challenged people. And really even standing up here on the door sill, that'll make that handy. So let's go ahead and talk about mounting it to the vehicle, and then we'll take it for a quick test. One reason I chose this series of box was for the mounting system. I'm not the kind of person that's going to leave this up here all the time, so I wanted an easy mounting system. This is what comes with these Thule boxes. Pretty neat. So basically, turning this dial back and forth opens or closes these claws, and supposedly when you put it on and it gets tight enough, it'll click kind of like a gas cap. So that's a pretty cool design, so let's check that out. All right, so here we are inside the box. Not the best view in the world, but it's kind of hard to set up a camera and not risk knocking it off the car. So basically, at the front and the rear, on both the left and the right, we have these little slides. And what these allow you to do is center it up with the position of your bars. So that little middle part of the slide, you want over the middle portion of the bar. So hopefully that gives you a little bit better idea of what's going on there. So we're just going to center that over the bar. And actually, that middle center plastic piece is basically the same width as the rubber strip on the top of these bars, so you can really tell GM intended you to use these boxes on these cars. And then we're going to make sure the clamp is all the way open and push it down in, and there's a little, if we look real close on the end of these, you can see these little clips. These little clips in the front and the rear are going to line up with these little holes and let you clip it in place. So that's clipped in place now, and then we're simply going to turn this until it starts clicking. Yep, that's it. Pretty neat. So let's get a little idea of what that looks like from the other side. All right, so we've got it completely mounted to the roof now. It's definitely a lot less flimsy now that it's fully mounted to the roof. So again, it seems to work better if you put your hands directly below these little fasteners on the front and the back. And yeah, it definitely opens up a lot easier, and it feels a little bit more sturdy. So let's see what all we can fit in here. So I've got a couple of our bigger suitcases here. So there's our two larger suitcases. We've still got quite a bit of room left over here. That strap out of the way. And no problem. So for our purposes, we just need a little more space this year. And for our purposes, that's plenty of room. I think we'll end up putting those suitcases up there and maybe beach toys up in the front. All right, so I think I know the answer to this, but quick test here. I'm guessing one of the reasons why there's so much room between the bottom of this bar and the glass is that by the time you have your clamps, you want to have room for the sunroof to open. So let's go ahead and double check that. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, so room left over. Don't know why you'd open the sunroof with a cargo box on top, but they thought it all out. Let's take a quick look at what it looks like on the XT5. Here's a front view. I don't think it looks all that bad. And here's dead on from the front. So you can see there's quite a bit of room left over on both sides. So yes, you could shove it to one side or the other and probably squeeze a bike up there. And you can also see that, yes, there's plenty of room for the larger size boxes. All right, and here's the side view. Let's go ahead and check for hatch clearance. I'm sure it's fine. It looks like we've got plenty of room. And I do have my hatch set to open pretty high. So yes, we've got plenty of room there. And we'll do a check on the road test for XM reception, but it doesn't look like it's going to get in the way. And there's a view from the back. Looks like I'm a little off center actually. So yeah, really, all in all, not a bad look for this roof box on the XT5. So let's get it out on the road. I have read reports that in general these boxes are noisier when they're empty. I did leave those empty suitcases in there to give it a little weight, but I would imagine there's just more vibrations from everything when there's nothing holding it down really. But we'll test it like this anyway. Okay, so I've had a chance to take it out down the road a little bit. Now keep in mind it's empty. Empty suitcases inside. I haven't heard any type of rattling or whistling or anything. There is some wind noise, but interestingly enough, the wind noise is about the same as I recall from just the crossbars being up there. So if you saw my video on that, you know, it's there. It's not very loud at 55 miles an hour. It's a little more prominent once you get up to 70, 75 miles an hour, but it's not, you know, if you're having a conversation or you have the radio on, you're really not going to notice it. You know, I would venture to say that the box really isn't adding any more noise than was there with just the crossbars. So that's really interesting to me that, you know, good job on Thule designing a very aerodynamic design. Because like I said, I mean, if there's any difference between that box being up there versus just the crossbars being up there, I can't tell right off the top of my head. So yeah, I'm impressed, and it'll be interesting to see how this does out on a longer drive. Alrighty guys, that about does it for this quick little video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you would, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll have more videos like this about the XT5, and we've got a pretty big library of videos already built up, so be sure to check those out on the channel. Also have some videos on the Cadillac SRX and our Cadillac XT5. Thanks for watching.